Donald Trump is back. After a hiatus from the political spotlight, the former president has made a dramatic return, stepping back into the arena with the same fervor and determination that characterized his first term. His return to the White House sends ripples of uncertainty across the globe. Nations are on edge, wondering how his policies will impact international relations and global markets. The world watches closely, analyzing every move and statement. The world has changed since his last stint. New challenges have emerged, such as the ongoing pandemic, climate change, and shifting geopolitical alliances. Old problems like economic inequality and regional conflicts remain unsolved, adding layers of complexity to an already intricate global landscape. How will Trump navigate this complex landscape? His approach to governance, often unorthodox and controversial, will be put to the test as he faces a world that has evolved in his absence. His decisions will be scrutinized by both allies and adversaries. His supporters cheer his return. They see him as a champion of their values and beliefs, someone who speaks directly to their concerns and aspirations. For them, his return signifies a renewed hope for the America First vision that he so passionately advocates. They believe in his America First vision. This vision, centered on prioritizing American interests and sovereignty, resonates deeply with his base, who feel that their voices are finally being heard and their needs addressed. They trust him to shake things up. His promise to disrupt the status quo and challenge the establishment is a key reason for their unwavering support. They are eager to see how he will tackle the issues that matter most to them. His critics worry about his unpredictability. They argue that his impulsive decisions and confrontational style could lead to instability, both domestically and internationally. Concerns about his approach to diplomacy and governance are at the forefront of their minds. They fear his policies could destabilize the world. The potential for economic turmoil and strained international relations looms large as global leaders brace for the impact of his return. The stakes are high, and the consequences of his actions could be far-reaching. One thing is certain: Trump's return will have profound consequences. His influence on the global stage is undeniable, and his decisions will reverberate across continents, affecting millions of lives. From the global economy to international relations, his decisions will shape the world we live in. The balance of power, trade agreements, and diplomatic ties are all in flux as the world adjusts to his leadership once again. The world holds its breath. As Trump steps back into the limelight, the anticipation and anxiety are palpable. People from all walks of life are keenly aware that the next few years will be pivotal. Will Trump rise to the occasion? Can he address the pressing issues of our time with the same vigor and resolve that defined his first term? Or will the challenges prove too great, leading to a repeat of past controversies and conflicts? Or will his second act on the world stage be a repeat of the first? Only time will tell. The world watches, waits, and wonders what the future holds as Donald Trump returns to a changed world. The US dollar reigns supreme. For decades, it has been the cornerstone of global finance, a symbol of economic stability and strength. It's the world's reserve currency, held by central banks around the globe as a safe asset. But its dominance is not guaranteed. Economic shifts and policy changes can alter its standing. Trump's policies could impact the dollar's strength significantly. His approach to economic management has been both praised and criticized. His tax cuts and spending plans could lead to higher inflation, which might erode the purchasing power of the dollar. This might weaken the dollar's value over time, making imports more expensive and affecting everyday Americans. On the other hand, his trade wars with countries like China could make the dollar a safe haven for investors seeking stability amidst global uncertainty. Trump has also criticized the Federal Reserve, pushing for lower interest rates to stimulate the economy. This raises concerns about political interference in monetary policy, which traditionally remains independent to ensure balanced economic growth. Such interference could undermine confidence in the dollar, as global leaders and investors watch closely for any signs of instability. A strong dollar benefits the U.S. economy by making imports cheaper and controlling inflation. But a weaker dollar could shake global markets, leading to increased volatility and uncertainty. Trump's decisions on the economy will be crucial for the greenback's future. The world is watching, and the stakes are high. Will his policies make or break the dollar's dominance? Only time will tell. The US-China rivalry defines the 21st century. Trump's first term saw a bitter trade war. Tariffs were imposed. Relations soured. Will Trump reignite the trade war, or will he seek a more cooperative approach? China's economic might has grown. It's no longer the same country Trump dealt with before. Both sides have an interest in finding common ground, but deep mistrust remains. Trump's approach to China will be crucial for global stability. The world hopes for a thaw in relations. A trade war would hurt everyone. Cooperation is the only way forward. Can Trump and Xi Jinping find a path to peace? Trump believes in protecting American jobs. He sees tariffs as a way to achieve this, but his protectionist policies have drawn criticism. Tariffs raise prices for consumers, they disrupt global supply chains, and they often lead to retaliation from other countries. Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods had a mixed impact. Some American industries benefited, others suffered. The overall effect on the U.S. economy is debatable. The question remains, will Trump's protectionism work this time around? Or will it backfire, hurting the very people he aims to protect? The world awaits his next move. Section 5, Russia and Ukraine, a delicate balancing act for Trump. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has upended the global order. Trump's relationship with Putin has been under scrutiny. His stance on the conflict remains unclear. Will Trump continue to support Ukraine, or will he seek rapprochement with Russia? His decisions will have major implications for European security. Trump's approach to Russia is complex. He admires Putin's strength, but he also understands the need to contain Russian aggression. The world watches with bated breath. The stakes in Ukraine are high. Trump's actions could determine the fate of a nation. Section 6, the Middle East Maze, Trump's approach to Israel and Iran. The Middle East remains a powder keg. Trump's policies in the region were controversial. He moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. He withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. What will his approach be this time? Will he continue to support Israel unconditionally? Will he seek to renegotiate the Iran deal? Trump's policies have heightened tensions in the region. His decisions on Israel and Iran will be closely watched. The Middle East is a complex web of alliances and rivalries. Trump's actions could either bring peace or further inflame the region. Section 7. Allies and Adversaries, Reshaping Global Relationships. Trump's America. First approach strained relationships with allies. He questioned the value of NATO. He imposed tariffs on European goods. Will he mend fences with traditional allies? Or will he continue to prioritize American interests above all else? Trump's relationships with world leaders are often transactional. He values loyalty and strength, but he is also willing to work with those who oppose him. The world is watching to see how Trump will engage with other nations. Will he rebuild trust with allies? Or will he further alienate them with his policies? Section 8. The Climate Challenge. Will Trump change course? Climate change poses an existential threat. Trump has called it a hoax. He withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Agreement. Will he change his stance on climate change? Or will he continue to prioritize economic growth over environmental protection? Trump's views on climate change are out of step with the scientific consensus. His policies could have devastating consequences for the planet. The world hopes that Trump will recognize the urgency of the climate crisis. His actions, or inaction, will have a lasting impact on future generations. Section 9. A World in Flux, Navigating the Uncertainties of a Trump Presidency. Donald Trump's return to power injects uncertainty into the world. His policies and decisions have always been a subject of intense debate and scrutiny. With his re-election, the global community is on edge, wondering what changes and challenges lie ahead. His unpredictable nature makes it difficult to predict his actions. From sudden policy shifts to unexpected international alliances, Trump's leadership style keeps both allies and adversaries guessing. This unpredictability can lead to both opportunities and risks on the global stage. The world is a very different place than it was 4 years ago. New challenges have emerged, such as the ongoing climate crisis, the rise of new economic powers, and the ever-present threat of global pandemics. Old problems persist, including geopolitical tensions and economic inequalities. How will Trump navigate this complex landscape? His approach to diplomacy, trade, and international relations will be closely watched. Will he build bridges or burn them? Will he foster cooperation or fuel conflict? These are the questions that keep political analysts and world leaders up at night. Only time will tell what a Trump presidency will mean for the world. The clock is ticking, and every decision he makes will have far-reaching consequences. The stakes are high, and the world is watching with bated breath. One thing is certain: the next 4 years will be anything but boring. The media will have no shortage of headlines, and the public will be constantly engaged in discussions and debates about the direction in which Trump is taking the country and the world. The world holds its breath. The future remains unwritten. Every day brings new developments, and the global community must stay vigilant and adaptable. The uncertainty can be daunting, but it also brings a sense of possibility and change. But one thing is clear: Trump's decisions will shape the course of history. His presidency will be a defining chapter in the story of our times, influencing not just the present but the future for generations to come. The world watches, waits, and wonders what the next page will hold.